Assalamu alaikum students. How are you? I hope all of you are fine and safe and enjoying your time at home. Students, your live sessions are arranged on the basis of some educational benefits for you. Kindly attend all of your live session and prove yourself a good student. Students, first of all, a moral lesson is there for you. If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. So always think before doing and saying something. If you are considering it is right, then do that, otherwise stop here. Always try to do right things. So always first of all think and then do or say something. Students, we have chapter number 5, physical states of matter. In this chapter, we have a topic, physical states of matter and role of intermolecular forces. The role of intermolecular forces in the physical states of matter. First of all, what is matter? Matter is anything in the universe that has mass and that occupies space. Matter exists in three physical states, the states that can be seen and touched. These are gas, liquid and solid. If we talk about gaseous state, the state in which particles are far apart from each other, and due to that they have very weak intermolecular forces between them. Due to the greater distance between the gas particles, the gas have no fixed shape and no fixed volume. The particles are arranged in a disorder manner. They are arranged randomly. But if we talk about the liquid state is a state of matter that has fixed volume but no fixed shape. It will gain the shape of the container in which it will be kept. The molecules are much closer to each other as compared with the gases, and then they have strong intermolecular forces. In liquid state, due to these strong intermolecular forces, the physical properties of the liquid or the physical states, they will also relate with these intermolecular forces. Like that of vapor pressure, boiling point and evaporation and diffusion, these are the properties that depend upon the intermolecular forces present between the liquid particles. If we talk about the third state, which is solid state, we know that solid have fixed shape and fixed volume. The particles of solid, they are arranged in an order. They have a fixed pattern in their arrangement. So there are strong intermolecular forces between solid particles. That's why solid have high melting and boiling points and they are denser. We know that if the intermolecular forces are stronger, then it is difficult to break these forces and we require a high amount of energy to break or to overcome these forces. And then our substance will convert into molten form or into vaporize. So, if the intermolecular forces are strong in the solid, then solids will have high melting and boiling point. Liquids will also have high melting and boiling point, but not more than the solids. In this diagram, you can see that definite volume and definite shape of solid, but no definite volume and definite shape of gas, and the definite volume of the liquid. Particles in the solid, they are arranged in an order. Particles of gas, they are not arranged in any order, and they are random in their motions. In liquid, particles are not arranged in any order and they gain the shape of the container, but they have a volume, but they have a fixed volume. Here are some typical properties of the liquids. The first property is evaporation. The process of changing of a liquid into a gas phase or into a gas state is known as evaporation. Evaporation is a process in which a liquid will convert into gaseous form. It is the reverse process of condensation. Now what is condensation? Condensation is a process in which a gas changes into liquid. A gas will convert into liquid. But in evaporation, a liquid will convert into gas. So both the processes are reverse of each other. Evaporation is an endothermic process. Endothermic process is a process in which heat will be absorbed by the system. Our substance will absorb the heat. Which substance? That will convert into gaseous state. First of all, 1 mole of water, it will convert into vapors, but it will need energy to break the intermolecular forces present between the water molecules, and then the water molecules can escape from the surface. So, water will require 40.7 kilojoule per mole energy to break its intermolecular forces and then to convert into vapor state. So, heat will be used by water. Heat will be absorbed by the water to overcome the intermolecular forces. That's why the evaporation process will be known as endothermic process. It is a process in which energy and heat will be used. We will give the energy to the system, to the substance, and then it will be used by the system, and then liquid state will convert into gas state. In liquid, we know that molecules are present in continuous motion state. They possess kinetic energy. We know that the energy that is due to the motion is known as kinetic energy. But all the molecules don't have same kinetic energies. Majority of the molecules, they have average kinetic energy. They have average kinetic energy. The kinetic energy that is for hold the gas particles. But few one, they have kinetic energy more than that of the average kinetic energy. Molecules that having more than the average kinetic energy, they will overcome the attractions between them and they will escape from the surface, because there is a need of high energy to break down the intermolecular forces of the liquid. So the particles that have high energy, they will break their intermolecular forces and they will escape from the surface. This will term as evaporation. It is a continuous process and it can be take place at all the temperatures. It means that evaporation don't require any fixed temperature. It can take place at all the temperature, even at room temperature. And the simple example of evaporation is the dryingness of the wet cloths. The rate of evaporation is directly proportional to the temperature. If the temperature will be increased, then the energy of the particles it will be increased. The particles, they will vibrate at their mean positions with greater altitude and with greater energy. Then if they have energy more than that of the kinetic energy, then they will break down their intermolecular forces and they will escape from the surface. So evaporation is directly linked with the temperature. The other fact is that evaporation is a cooling process. It is a cooling process. Now why it is a cooling process? Why evaporation causes cooling? Because when high energy molecules vaporize, the temperature of the remaining molecules will fall down. To compensate this deficiency of the energy, the molecules of liquid, they will absorb energy from the surroundings. They will absorb energy from the surroundings. Particles with high energy, they will break their intermolecular forces and they will escape from the liquid. But the particles which are left in the liquid, which they are not vaporized yet, they will have now low amount of energy. Why they will have low amount of energy? Because we know that during the collisions, particles interchange their energy and they transfer their energy to the other one. Then the other one particle now which have greater energy, it will be escape. But the particle that have transferred its energy toward the other particle, now it is at the lower energy. So it will absorb energy from the surroundings. As a result of this, the temperature of the surroundings will decrease and we feel a cooling sensation at here. For example, when we put a drop of alcohol on the palm, the alcohol evaporates and we feel cooling effect, because the particles of alcohol evaporate and the remaining particles, they will get energy from our hand, and as a result of it we feel cooling effect. So we can say that evaporation causes cooling. There are some factors that affect the evaporation, and we can say that evaporation depends upon some factors. The first factor is surface area, second is temperature, and third is intermolecular forces. First of all, surface area. It is the surface process. Evaporation is a surface process. Greater the surface area, greater is the rate of evaporation. If there is a large surface and there is a large area for escaping of the vapors from the liquid, then the huge amount of the vapors, they will be escape from the surface. For example, sometimes we use saucer to be cooled tea quickly. Sometimes we use saucer to cool tea quickly. as compared to cup. This is because evaporation from the larger surface area of saucer is more than that of the smaller surface area of teacup. So, if the surface area is large, evaporation will be greater or faster. Evaporation and surface area, they are related with each other in a direct relation. Greater the surface area, greater the evaporation, lesser the surface area, lesser will be the evaporation. The next factor is temperature. At high temperature, the rate of evaporation is high. At high temperature, the rate of evaporation is high. Because at high temperature, kinetic energy of the molecules will be high, and now it is increased so much that they overcome their intermolecular forces and they will escape rapidly. For example, the water level in the container with hot water decreases earlier than that of the container with cold water. Because hot water particles, they have high energy to break their intermolecular forces as compared to cold water that will have low energy. So, if the temperature is high, the kinetic energy of the particles will high and they will overcome their intermolecular forces easily and they will escape out. And we can say that evaporation will be faster. So, evaporation is directly linked with the temperature. If the temperature is increased, the rate of evaporation is increased. If the temperature is decreased, the rate of evaporation will be decreased. For example, wet cloth dry up earlier in summer than that of the winter. It is also due to the difference of temperature between summer and winter. Understand? Now we have a third phenomena on which evaporation depends, that is intermolecular forces. If the intermolecular forces are stronger, molecules face difficulty in evaporation. We know that if the intermoleculars are stronger, then it will be difficult to break these intermolecular forces, and then we need a high amount of energy to break these strong forces. So evaporation will be difficult. If the intermolecular forces are weak, evaporation will be easier because we need only a small amount of energy to break these intermolecular forces and then particles convert into vapor. For example, water has strong intermolecular forces than that of alcohol. We know that water is a polar substance and it will have strong intermolecular forces than that of the alcohol. Then alcohol evaporates faster than that of water. Because in alcohol, intermolecular forces are weak, then it will evaporate faster than that of the water. Water will have strong intermolecular forces and it will face a difficulty in the evaporation. So intermolecular forces are inversely related with the evaporation. If the intermolecular forces are greater, evaporation will be slow. If the intermolecular forces are weak, then the evaporation will be faster. And one thing, evaporation is not like that of boiling. We will give the temperature and the substance will boil off. No. It is the process that can take place at all the temperature. There is no fixed requirement like that of boiling for the temperature in evaporation. Understand? There is no fixed requirement of temperature like that of boiling for the evaporation. Evaporation is a phenomenon that can take place at all the temperatures, at high temperature as well as at low temperature, as your wet clothes dry up in summer as well as in winter. But in summer, the rate of evaporation is high due to high temperature, but in the winter, the rate will be slower due to low temperature. I hope all of you understand. Thanks for your time. Stay blessed. Stay happy.